Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living with Dementia. We are proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. Some of our programs are recorded and some are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. I am Martha Brown, your host for today's activities. Today, Peggy Spear is coming to us from the Amon Carter Museum of American Art, and Peggy's going to talk about flags. Well, with all the things going on in the world today, I've been looking at flags on my icons on my computer and my keyboard and cell phone. So I want to see what kind of flags Peggy's brought to us today. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Take it
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, we're keeping it United States flags, which,
All right.
We'll have opinions about our flag right now. So we're just looking at it as through an artist's lens right now.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, first, there's not much to say about this artwork, but there were so many examples of courthouses or main streets or whatever in towns throughout the United States where there were just flags decorating everything. So this is an example of a very common theme that happens in American photography, particularly. Can you guys, I mean, I'm sure if you lived in a smaller town, you were used to seeing these types of combination of church and state, but big flags decorating your streets. Do you remember, or do you even now still see that in your towns?
Yeah.
Not in Northwest. Well, yeah, Northwest Hills we see flags.
But not church and state.
Not church and state. No.
Yeah. This is in Colorado. I don't have the exact town in Colorado, but Texas and Colorado, there's all those, you go into the town and there's like the courthouse and then just maybe like a main little square with some shops. This looks like that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Those squares are always fun.
Yeah, and always so festive, regardless of the holiday. For Christmas, they've got massive trees and lights. But this, I mean, even now we still see the bunting.
Yeah, we still see bunting. Yeah.
You still see the bunting in your neighborhood, or do you even do it yourself on your front porch or anything?
There are some neighborhoods near me that do that, but I see it on Facebook, but I don't do it in my neighborhood.
We have a neighbor, like 2 neighbors down, that does the bunting all across the overhang of her porch. It looks pretty.
Ooh.
So anyways, this is just, go ahead.
Go ahead. You can talk. I'll ask my question last.
I was just going to say, this is just an example of a common, there's not much to say about these. It's just kind of a documentation of America, probably around 4th of July or Memorial Day. But this decorated town is a very common theme you'll see in American photography.
So Peggy,
Mm-hmm.
I understand this scenario here, but the word conclave seems to be a bit odd. I know conclave is a group of people with a common interest and intent, but and that may describe the patriotic side of the town, but conclave is not exactly the word that you typically see in something like this.
No, conclave made me think, so I'm Catholic and they always have the conclave when they're voting or electing a new pope.
That's true.
And so that might speak to why we're seeing a cross, not that they're electing a new pope, but there might be some sort of religious, political happening, but I don't know, you're right. I don't know what a courthouse conclave is.
Okay.
But yeah, conclave to me typically has a religious connotation.
Yeah. So basically, like it's a meeting at the church, at the courthouse for now. What's up for all we know. Yeah.
I had a laugh when I lived in Denver, so Colorado. The way the museum was situated right next to the courthouse downtown, and they always had during holiday season a massive nativity scene on the front stairs of the courthouse. And I always just thought that was so funny that there's a lot of places in the city you could have put that. Why would you put that at the courthouse? Anyway.
And some people have arguments about even the 10 Commandments on public property, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty.
Well, now we're switching mediums and we're looking at an oil on canvas. And the title of this painting is Flags on the Waldorf. This is currently, it's almost always on view, but it's currently off view right now just because of something we have in our main gallery where this artwork normally hangs. So it's a safety precaution. We took it down so nothing bumps it. But so you can't see it now, but generally come probably August, late August, you'll be able to see it again. What do we see?
A very patriotic parade. I don't know if there's a military parade going on or just a parade of vehicles driving by.
The
Yeah,
guys.
here it's hard to tell what that is. You're right.
Or maybe it's just cars driving down the street. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be. This you're picking up on something. This is an impressionistic style. So I'm sure most of you know who Monet is.
Oh, yes.
He was an impressionistic artist. And one of the hallmarks of that is using the dashes, the short brush strokes to create the image or the scene.
Like
And
a
so you're
different
seeing
pointillism.
a lot of dashes, is particularly on the building.
Yeah.
So here he's using dashes to create a crowd, whether it's people or vehicles. It feels like a busy street.
Yeah.
I see some uniforms on the lower right.
Over here,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're uniforms.
Okay.
This looks like a woman wearing like a longer dress and she's lifting up. You might see boots and a hat. We have a man in a blue suit. We have another man in a suit. We have a woman in a dress with a tailored jacket. So there
Ah,
might be people wearing uniforms in the mix or colors alluding to it, but we can't identify what that uniform is, if it is.
okay.
So-
From a distance, yes. The
Yeah,
color,
yeah.
the khaki and navy, and the hats.
And the hats, yeah.
So
Flags on
Peggy,
the Waldorf. Flags on the Waldorf.
Yeah. Go ahead, Don.
does it look like there's been some rain? Is that what that blue reflected in the sky on the street shows? It's been raining, or is that
No,
just?
I don't think it is raining because we don't see people holding an umbrella. So this is Waldorf was in New York City. It was the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It was eventually torn down to make way for the Empire State Building, I believe. But
Ooh.
is that the right building? Yeah, Empire State Building. But so it looks, I think it's kind of trying to create the effect of in a tall buildings in a city where things can almost feel tunnel-like. There might not be much sunshine down here because if you look up though at the sky, we are seeing some blue sky through the cloud coverage. So it's probably just a cloudy day in a tall city.
On
Okay.
a patriotic holiday, maybe.
Yes, so you're exactly right. You're picking up, it's very patriotic. We see flags hanging from windows, from building fronts, you know, all the way up towards the sky. This artist had painted or did end up painting a series called, what is it? The Avenue of Allies. And it was focusing on the times that the US would hang their flags or their allies' flags during World War II. This was painted before we had even entered World War II.
Ooh.
And so this is actually commemorating the sinking of the Lusitania on May 7th in 1915. So this is a kind of a memorial of sorts, remembering the sinking of the Germany sinking the ship.
Is this New York City?
It is New York City. And so this hotel where this is the Waldorf right here has since been torn down, and that's the Empire State Building has gone up in that area now.
Okay.
So I mean go ahead.
Seeing the tallness of the buildings reminds me of pictures that we sometimes see at the equinox when the sun goes down one particular.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
See it.
yeah.
Like that's the one day you can see down a particular street all
Right.
year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what was going on May 7th outside of the sinking of the ship. So that might be, you'll have to like consult your astronomy.
So what city is this?
New York City.
New York City. Woo.
That
And
sounds
so,
like a salsa commercial.
oh yeah, that paste stick
York
and
City.
salsa. Yeah, so anyway, so this is this, while it's not part of the Allies, Avenue of Allies, this was right around the same time. He painted 30 paintings for the Avenue of the Allies, but it looks very similar to artworks, paintings from that series, where it was focusing on the patriotism and support of those for the US. All sorts of American flags.
Mhm. Great.
And another New York photograph. It's in the title, but do you know what this building is?
Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange.
Yep.
Oh, really?
And you can see the
We
single
don't
flag,
see, we don't see the sign out there.
this sign, yeah. It does actually say it up here, New York Stock Exchange. If you get your,
The small letters. somewhere.
yeah, all the way up there, it does say the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay, gotcha.
And so just like the, you know, another busy street in New York, we're seeing flag hanging. This is just, you know, business as usual, hanging the American flag from the NYSE. But we've looked at Bernice Abbott's photographs before. And she did the photograph, if you can remember, of the outside the movie theater where there were all of those like little billboards.
Oh, yeah.
promoting,
Yes.
like a Wild West film. Yeah, this is her. She went around New York City documenting the total transformation the city had gone through since the last time she was there. She'd been in Paris for an extended period of time, for almost 8 or 9 years, and came back to New York and came back to a New York she did not recognize, how quickly things were going up, how quickly things were changing. And so she was given money, government support, to document the changes of New York City through the Federal Arts Project, the FAP, which several artists during this time we've talked about were allotted that type of money to help revitalize the economy during the Depression. So anyway, so it's more documentary, less social commentary, but you know, some of her photographs did both. And so here we just see it's a street scene of a very famous building in New York City. And again, we've got that slither of sunlight,
Yeah.
and the shadows that, you know, are cast from very tall buildings in the city.
Well, can I make a comment?
Please.
I think I look at this dark spot on the right side, and that's a shoe. That's a shoe, and it looks like that she's taking it behind a person or a statue that is blocking is helping frame the building or something.
Don, what a wonderful
What a
observation.
great
You're
eye.
Exactly right. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she's perched somewhere across the street, whether it's a statue, which I think is a very likely thing, or even just someone sitting on the ledge.
Yeah.
She's used that shadow of that person
Mhm.
to mimic the shadow of the building across.
Yeah, yeah, and it frames it very nicely.
You're right, it really does. And it matches that verticality these tall columns are creating. So she's alluding to this uprightness that New York City has, you know, with the rise of skyscrapers, both figuratively and literally. She's alluding to this now upward motion that New York City has, which was not the way she last saw it.
I wonder how often they remodel the inside of the stock exchange.
Oh, as technology changes, probably
Wow.
every 10 years or so.
And I
If
feel like
not-
New York City is always under construction, no matter
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
go, something's getting updated and then
Yep.
the next block over is getting updated. So it's always a construction zone.
Yep.
But she's really dwarfing the human activity too, which is again speaking
Yeah.
to the technology of architecture at the time. I mean, you do see people, you see this person in the front, but the focus isn't that person in the front.
No.
But you see people just, and they seem so small, especially compared
Yeah.
to the building.
The cars look kind of like toy cars for the building.
Yeah. But that flag, you know, this is New York, this is America, this is the future of America. So that flag again has that patriotic feel that is captured in so many of these street scenes. All right, we got this one. I thought of you, Don and Myra, because this was taken in Wichita, Kansas.
That's right.
That's right.
Boeing.
Did you have family that worked at Boeing?
Yes. My uncle did.
Oh, he did. Okay. Yeah, Boeing. Which I did not know. Boeing had until probably like the mid-aughts, the 2010s, a very large presence in Wichita.
Yes.
And this was during World War II. Laura Gilpin was hired to be the marketing and PR type of photographer for Boeing in Kansas. And at that time, that plant was producing 44% of the aircrafts for World War II, which was the most of any plant in the country.
I
So-
like those. I like the repetitiveness of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, I mean, I'm telling you it's Boeing and where she worked, but this could be at anywhere in the United States where flags are lined up.
When I worked for General Dynamics in the main lobby, they had something similar to this.
Oh, did they?
Flags all lined up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They made F-16. They made F-16 aircraft,
Oh, cool.
among other things. Yes.
That's awesome.
I-
Yeah,
I've
so-
I've seen these in military installations, the same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm sure, you know, if she's part of that PR
Yeah.
push, there, you know, these are factory workers who are going in to really contribute to the war effort. So that reminder of patriotism was probably very deliberate for those who are coming to this job and creating aircrafts that the US government and military would use. So a real sense of American pride. I'm sure these flags probably lined a lot of the different buildings or office spaces or things like that.
So Peggy,
Yeah.
when Myra and I were going to high school and college in Kansas, Boeing had sold this facility to Pritchard Motors, who
Uh-huh.
makes Learjets.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wow.
Okay, so that's interesting because I was doing a little research about this, Mike, just out of curiosity because it's very interesting. So Wichita, between 2005 and 2012, all of Boeing started to shut down or they started selling things off. And then from what I can understand, it's that in these different plants, Airbuses were made, Learjets were made, and bombarders, and then Bell craft. I can't even read my own handwriting. But so it shifted from then all these military, well, I mean, Learjets are military, but it shifted from what Boeing was doing to then other production companies making other aircrafts because they had the facilities all there.
So maybe this is a little bit after we were in school. So
Well, it was,
No, but it could have started, it looks like things were happening all the time where they were.
that's
after
right.
World War
That's probably
II.
true. Yeah.
So but for a long time, Learjets, I know, were part of the manufacturer. So yeah, so things were changing all the time.
I think Cessna's in Wichita too, isn't it?
I'm not sure they're there
I'm
anymore,
not sure they're there anymore.
but they were there when I know they were there for sure when I was in college because I worked at a small electronics manufacturing company that provided de-icers for Cessnas.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Wichita. Yeah.
Man, that is so fascinating to me. Okay, so, oh, go ahead.
Before they had de-icers, things got pretty bad in the winter.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they would not fly. They could not fly.
Uh-uh.
Wild.
It's still, Eric, Cessna is still in Wichita, Kansas.
Okay, great.
Yeah, its headquarters is Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
I was also going to make a reference to the previous slide, about the stock exchange.
Uh-huh.
In March 6th, 1933, President Roosevelt made a proclamation to shut down bank transactions for 1 week to restore confidence in the financial situation of America. The entire week.
Can you explain to me why they shut down the bank for a week? What does that do?
So many problems of deposits and withdrawals and things like that. They just shut it down so that they will stabilize the banking system.
Yeah.
So nobody can rob it.
Nobody could take any deposits. Nobody could take anything out. Couldn't transfer money. Nothing for that whole week.
Okay.
Wow.
I remember that from It's a Wonderful Life, and I wondered why they were going to close the banks for a week. Thank you for educating me. I needed that today.
It just kind of struck me,
Yeah.
Well, sure it should. Yeah.
Mhm.
that date 1933, and then I looked at it and I said, "Oh, okay."
And I don't
Yeah.
know what time of year she took this. That wasn't in the notes. So,
Right. Yeah. It could be somewhere along the way, but there were a lot of people involved with it. It's a long time coming. It was about 3 years
yeah.
leading
Yeah,
to
the crash was in 29.
problem. Yeah. But anyway, it was really, and there were a lot of people there, from the Treasury Department and big banks and Federal Reserve and all of that type of thing. Because the Federal Reserve gold had fallen below the legal limit at that point in time.
Mhm.
You never
And
know what you're going to learn when you have an art show, do you, Peggy?
No,
I love it.
No, it's really funny too, because we work with TCC for our sign language interpretation. And this is like one of the more coming to the art museum is one of the more nerve-wracking experiences for their interns, because they never know where the conversation's going to end up. And there's a lot of names that are hard to spell and art movements. So TCC, the professors love having this as an option because the conversation can go any direction. So
Love
keep
it.
the conversation coming.
And we will do that.
okay, we can go on, Peggy. I just wanted to bring that in.
Cool. No, that's great. And that, and part of what she was doing was a way of giving Americans hope because of the Depression. So she was acutely aware of what the banks were doing.
Right. Yeah.
So no, thank you for pointing that out. This is just another, I feel like something everybody can relate to.
Oh, yes.
Boy Scouts or
Oh, yeah.
camp or something where you
Yep.
start your day off with the Pledge of Allegiance or saluting the flag.
Had a lot of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is in Texas. This was taken in it's kind of now a ghost town, but this was taken down in
Tomball.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There
Yeah.
had been some oil, they started drilling, and so basically these towns kind of just fell from the sky to accommodate all of the people who had moved there to produce oil. And then and here and this is a number of photographs she took that speak to this, what was going on, but it was a lot of white families moving down to this area, very little diversity. And so the pictures reflect that very little diversity. But here it's just a group of boys at Boy Scouts.
Mhm. I noticed it's from the Standard Oil collection.
Yeah,
I know they took a lot of photographs during that time.
they definitely did. And this was during war effort too. So it was, this is what we're doing to keep our country and things like that. So,
Oh,
That's right.
yeah, the petroleum industry, this particular, the Standard Oil, like you said, did a lot of photography all over the country, really, to remind America of their effort. And then, yeah, this opened in 33, this camp, and then I think it was shut down by 57. So once the oil stopped, they got out. And we got one more, which this photograph's actually on view right now, and it's
I like
it's
that
just
one.
darling. It's just darling.
Yep.
This was March for Peace, presumably connected to World War II. In New York City, we've looked at John Albach's, some of his photographs before, and he was a tailor by trade, an amateur photographer out of interest. And so he often would, in his neighborhood, just take pictures from his front, what was going on his block from his front stoop. And so this sweet picture of this little boy making a flag.
Yeah. I wonder what, that's just a piece of newspaper or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the little boy with the cardboard box drum.
Yeah, that's right.
How
Yeah.
inventive.
Yeah.
And again, this is in the exhibition Black Every Day. So another photograph of children where race doesn't mean anything. We're marching for the same thing, with friendship is friendship, and we're marching for peace, and all differences aside. So, and it's so innocent. It's just so
I don't think the child with the flag is a boy. I think it's a girl.
You think so?
Look at
Not
the
sure.
skirt.
I'm not sure that's a skirt. I think that's shorts.
It
Well,
looks
but,
like short.
But I don't know. Anyway, okay. Could be either way. He's
Girls
young.
weren't part of his club.
Yeah. The person's young enough to be either boy or girl.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
My son is called a girl all the time. I don't even correct people.
This is a great.
Does he
great-
have long hair?
Yeah, and he wears it in a ponytail because my daughter wears it in a ponytail. So,
Okay.
he wears it like up here. So
Okay.
Oh, a man bun. It's a
he
man
likes
bun.
his look.
And let them be exactly who they are. Pretty please.
Exactly. So
Yes.
it's just funny. Well, this is our last flag photograph. This is actually up, like I said, and it will be up for probably the next month, and then September 11th the exhibition comes down. So if you're in this neck of the woods, this is one you can see in person.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. Peggy, thank you.
You're welcome. Next week we are doing Breakable, but it's mostly us just looking at artworks from our current special exhibition, the Sergeant Venice class.
Okay.
There's a lot of-
That'll be great.
So
yeah.
are they broken? Are the things broken?
No, we have insurance to make sure that does not happen on our watch. But no, everything, and it's so many things in vitrine. So nothing,
Okay.
everything is assembled as of this moment. So
Okay, good.
Ooh.
all right, friends. So we'll look at that next week, and I hope you have a good week ahead of you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye,
Bye.
Peggy. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Oh, we always learn so much from her, don't we? Yes, we do.
Hey,
Well,
Martha,
yeah.
we're gonna be traveling to Chicago,
Uh-huh.
so we're gonna be out of pocket next weekend. Isn't it next weekend? Yeah. So we're not gonna be with y'all.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
You know you'll be missed.
Yes, you will.
Well, we'll miss y'all too, but
Mhm.
Philip, was raised in Chicago. He's got family there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's left, some, anyway.
When,
And-
when are, Phil, when are you leaving to go up there?
When-
Saturday.
We're leaving on Saturday,
Okay.
driving up. My brother's funeral will be on Monday.
On Monday, okay?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be thinking about you because I
That's
know
right.
that's a hard time.
Yep.
And he was
Hard
the
time.
youngest. Was he the youngest of the brothers?
Yes.
He was the youngest. And how many brothers? 3?
Yep.
Yep, 3 brothers
I had 3 brothers and a sister.
and a sister.
Oh,
And I'm the
no.
last man standing.
Oh, no.
It's always something. Our siblings help us to hold history. So that's tough when you lose a sibling, because then you can't go back and say, now,
Yeah.
what street was that on, and who was our next door neighbor, and all that stuff goes when they go.
Mhm.
Well, let's take a look. 10:30, we have flags today. At 11:30 today, where in the world is Heather? She told me yesterday afternoon she did not know what she was going to present today, so that ought to be fun.
It'll be a surprise.
It will, even for Heather. And at 1:30, da 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 da. Oh, I will tell you again that Gail has made this week the most bingo full week that we've had, and it won't keep happening like this. But we're just going to play bingo until it all falls apart. And all this is because Emily is out of pocket this week.
Oh, okay.
We're filling in Emily with bingo. So
Okay, so at 11:30 is what?
where in the world
Where in
is
the world
Heather?
is Heather?
Okay.
And we don't know where she's going to take us today.
He's probably in a coffee shop somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. We had a conversation about that yesterday, and she said she works at home a lot.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like being at home alone. And she will go to a coffee shop just to be sitting around other people, even if she
Really?
doesn't need to be out.
She's a people person.
She is. She definitely is. And we just love her to death.
Yeah.
That's right. And then bingo at 1:30. Okay. Thursday, 10:30, 11:30, and 1:30, Nia. So Emily is back with a vengeance. She will be doing Nia all 3 presentations. And then just in case you're interested, Friday, we have Texas Winds, and I don't know who the artist is.
Okay.
11:30 is Fit With, so Emily's back again. And 1:30 is Jeopardy. So get your brains out and sharpen those neurons. We've got a lot going on this week.
Yep.
Yes, other than the Olson trip out of town Saturday, is there anything else that needs to be shared before the day's over?
We're gonna have the
Fifth
coffee-
Street.
Yeah,
Yes,
Fifth
we
Street.
are.
And
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve.